Everton 0-1 Leicester. Jamie Vardy strikes to hand Fox's victory. Jamie Vardy was in no hurry to leave the pitch. He shuffled slowly to the sidelines, shaking hands with his teammates before turning to applaud Leicester's exultant fans. 2019 had started in the best possible manner for Vardy, and who could blame for wanting to savor the moment? All around Goodison Park, however, Evertonians were in a hurry, darting for the exits after another wretched day. Vardy's 7th goal of the season had proved decisive and completed what has been a hugely successful Christmas period for Claude Puel, who has masterminded wins over Chelsea and Manchester City to go with this flattening of Everton. For Marco Silva, though, the picture could not have been more miserable. Everton were abject, lifeless and toothless, and they look a far cry from the team that was threatening to bustle up the top 6 at the end of November. Everton have only won one of their last 8 matches, and they got precisely what they deserved: nothing. The first half was as bad a game of football as you could imagine. So quiet was the crowd you could actually hear the sound of boot on ball from the pitch and every increasingly exasperated shout from the touchline. It made you wonder what the logic was for scheduling the game at this time. There have been so many matches shown live over the Christmas period, this almost felt as if an extra one had squeezed into the planning to fill airtime. Those who persisted through the opening 45 minutes would have found themselves wishing for reruns of classic games, as what they had been served up was no form of entertainment, a contest bereft of guile, pace and imagination. There were only 2 notable moments before referee Martin Atkinson mercifully called time, both of which were provided by John Joe Kenny, the young right-back who had been recalled at the expense of Seamus Coleman. He did his best to make an impression. First he cracked a drive from the edge of the area against the bar in the 18th minute, after a cutback from Lucas Digne had evaded everyone, then followed up by whipping a cross into Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but the England under-21 striker headed wide. That was as good as it got. Leicester had not shown an iota of attacking ambition, seemingly having come to Merseyside to grind out a point, but there was a noticeable improvement in their urgency in the second period, characterized by Puel literally bouncing with impatience. Puel remains a manager under pressure, but he could not have done more to galvanize Leicester here, and in the 58th minute, Leicester got their reward. A long clearance by Kasper Schmeichel was miscontrolled by both Theo Walcott and Michael Keane, with the ball bouncing to Ricardo Pereira. Suddenly, danger loomed, and Pereira's quick pass invited Vardy to take on the labouring Kurt Zouma. The former England striker zipped past Zouma before drilling a left-foot shot that raced beyond Jordan Pickford. You suspected there and then that the game had been decided. The Goodison crowd was in one of those irascible, tetchy moods that are not conducive to trigger comebacks, and the onus was firmly on Marco Silva and his players to come up with the right answer. Not once did they threaten to achieve it. Other than a couple of crosses that were drilled into Leicester's penalty area and a hopeful shout for a penalty, Everton puffed and spluttered like a broken-down steam train. Leicester, by contrast, grew in confidence and played with intelligence. At the final whistle, those Evertonians who had bothered to stay booed in frustration. For Vardy, Puel and company, it must have been music to their ears.